Hey, welcome back. Just want to make another quick video. Actually, this probably won't be that quick. Just to explain some of the reasons why I'm actually leaving my 9-to-5 job and getting into Hotshot Trucking. So I touched on it. Sorry. I touched on it a little bit in one of my previous videos, actually my first video. So just, I guess, a little bit of background about me. Like I said, I did a little bit of it in, turn this off, in my first video. So I live in Delaware. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. 42 years old. I'll be 43 in August. Married for over 10 years. Coming up on, what's this, 2019? Coming up on 12 years. 2 kids, boy and a girl. My daughter is 15 actually. Oof. 15, she was in the first video. My son, he's 9. He'll be 10 this summer. He was in another video, but haven't uploaded it yet. You'll see, maybe get to see him later if my daughter gets to actually editing that one up for me. So, regular guy, like I said, graduated from Germantown High School in Philadelphia. Went to Westchester University for a few years. Then me and my wife had our daughter. So I dropped out of college and just was worked for Home Depot for like 8 years. And basically I was just living and working and, trying to do the family thing. So, fast forward, wanted to get out of retail. So I jumped into the financial industry. So a friend of the family got me a job as a loan officer. Did that for not even a year. I was driving from Philadelphia, actually from outside of Philadelphia, down to Columbia, Maryland every day. It was like a 2-hour drive. So I did that for a while, didn't work out. Left that job, stayed in kind of financial industry. I was trying to avoid retail I didn't want to go back and do that. So then started working for ING Direct. Was there forever. And for the most part, from then till now, just been jumping around from bank to bank. Worked for a few years, do different jobs, do different banks, jobs come and go. They're moving the positions here. This team's going away. This bank's buying somebody, they're being acquired by another bank. So a lot of that going on. So fast forward till now. And like I said, I touched in my first video is that right now, the team that I work for, they're actually trying to move it to a different place. Like they kind of don't even know. But the idea is that because of that, they are outsourcing. They're basically getting rid of the team, and they are moving. They're moving it to, I think, India, or maybe not. But bottom line for me and my team is that they're giving us a severance package. So because the job's going away. So I was like, all right, well, I got to apply for another job, stay with the bank, or go back to one of the other banks that I used to work for. It's not a big deal. Happens a lot in banking. But I kind of paused on it. They let us know that about the whole severance situation about 6 months ago. So I kind of didn't rush to try to get a new job. I just kind of let it settle in for a little bit. And just like I've had to do in the past, just think well, is the time, what else do I want to do? If I can get out of banking, that would be ideal. But let me just take a look. So I just was slow to jumping into another banking job over the holidays. had an interesting conversation at my sister's house where my niece was just asking people like, yo, like, if you could do whatever you wanted to do, what would it be? And for me, it's kind of been the same few things forever. It's been race car driver, or something driving, has been usually my first or second answer. And one of the things that came out was definitely race car driver, but also was truck driver. And, I didn't think much of it. Everybody tell their little story of why. And when I said it, it was kind of shocking to people like, why would you want to be a truck driver? And to me, it was just like, I always loved driving, and I always loved traveling. So it's kind of like a win-win from that perspective. But I always just felt like, well, maybe it's not that simple. But at the same time, I wanted to find out. So, that kind of, I guess that little conversation like sparked a little interest in me. Then one of my coworkers, like her husband or fiance was looking into getting into trucking also. Like there's a school here in Delaware that she gave me information about. And I actually went and checked them out. And those things kind of like got the momentum, or I kind of like, after just looking at it, taking a hard look at it, I was like, hang on, I could probably make this work. And I was just going to go with the route of getting CDL, riding the big rigs, because, I figured that's how you do it. Kept looking around and come across the Hotshot Trucking thing. And I was like, how real is that? So then I just dove in and researched as much as I could about it. And it actually seemed to be pretty doable. So I was like, all right, I think I want to do this. So then next layer of research for me was like, all right, how can I really make this work in my life right now? Still got kids, still got a family. I don't know what that money's going to look like. So, I was kind of like, I know that it's a thing that people do. Like, how would it be for me to transition from what I do to doing that? And, I sit down and crunch the numbers. I can make it work. I mean, for me, I wasn't even looking at this as something where, I can make all this money and, I just didn't look at it that way. I looked at it like something I always wanted to do. I think I can make basically what I'm making now, if not more. And at the same time, I get to like, I like, there's no really downside. I mean, I figured there's going to be some. There's going to be some headaches. There's headaches with everything now. So, yeah, for me, the ideas of driving, I mean, like, you can be good at something and not like it. That's basically been my last 10 years. Like, being good at banking, relatively. I managed to keep a job, but not really caring about it. Like, don't really feel like I have a purpose, no real sense of accomplishment. Whereas though, the other hand, it's real simple. You're just taking stuff from one place to the next. That's the accomplishment. I picked this thing up here and I put it there, and somebody needed it. They paid me to do it. That's pretty much it. And like I said, for some reason, I think ever since, when I was young, like my dad, he's a retired military, and he's a mechanic too. So he used to work down at the Acme shipping yards down at Acme Markets, their distribution center down in Philly. And he was a mechanic. So like when I would go see him, like you'd have to drive back through the docks and it would just be huge trucks everywhere. And to me, I felt like, and as a little kid, like it was just crazy to see these huge trucks just driving all around. I felt like mechanical dinosaurs, which kind of ties into like, I'm a huge Transformers fan. I got a huge Transformers tattoo. Always loved that kind of stuff. The idea of anything, just historically, anything that I could drive or ride, I was doing it. And it always gave me energy. So like when we go places with my family, like I'm always driving. We don't have that thing where like we're like, oh, I don't want to drive, or she doesn't want to drive. She doesn't want to drive, and I always want to drive. So that kind of always worked out. So it seemed like something that I could actually do and be good at it and actually enjoy it, making good money. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I don't know. It's pretty terrifying, just the idea of like leaving a 9-to-5, pretty secure and safe, so secure, so to speak. But like, desk job and just going out and making it on your own. My wife asked me like, oh, well, are you excited? This is about to start happening. And I was like, yeah, but I'm really, really terrified because never did anything like this. It's really a big deal to me because it could not work out. I could end up not making enough and then had to not do it, like had to give it up or something like that. I mean, the safe part is that it's not a huge commitment. The only thing I'm really buying, that's the greatest purchase or the biggest purchase I'm making to get started, I would say, is the trailer. And it's like $8,000. So it's worth a shot, but it is terrifying. I mean, I go to sleep every night. That's the last thing I think about. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. It's what's going to be like. Am I going to, it is a lot. So that's, like I said, that's my story. It's not really to knock like banking or corporate culture or 9-to-5 jobs or anything like that, because it was fine. It was fine for a while. It was very good for my work-life balance. We were just trying to raise kids. My wife, she's busy at work, and she's going to school and do all that stuff. And the jobs that I had allowed me to, I could work from home. If I need to leave work to go pick up the kid from school or someone's sick or stay home, like it was very easy. I was close, and the jobs are flexible with that. So I'm, like I said, there's no knock against that stuff. It served its purpose, and it's just like now I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I could give it a shot and see if it's something that will work out for me, for the better. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the only reason why I'm actually making this video is like, I don't really care. Like, I'm not really a person that tends to share a lot about myself. This whole YouTube thing is really throwing me off, but I feel like it's a good thing from a growth perspective because it's new to me and I'm totally not comfortable with cameras. Although I'm always taking the pictures, I'm never the one in the photos. So it's just a good growth thing. And like I said, the only reason why I'm really telling this stuff, even starting this channel, is because when I started to try to figure out how to do this and the details and the ins and outs of like what it would take to get started, I went to YouTube, and there was a bunch of dudes on there that was in the business already or getting into the business and basically just sharing their information. And it didn't cost me anything. So I just felt like I owe it to like continue to pass on the knowledge. Trucking, as I've learned, is a big industry. It's been around forever, but Hotshot seems to be like a niche within that, where it's it's like a subculture of truckers, but it seems to be growing. And I feel like for everybody that is even thinking about getting in a truck or just thinking about leaving their job, it might help somebody try to figure it out, like timing, or just to know that somebody else is wrestling with the same hangups, the same anxieties and apprehensions as to stepping out and doing your own thing. I'm a risky person when it comes to like, I'll go skydiving. I'll jump on a motorcycle or something like that. But when it comes to like things that have to do with like these type of decisions, like I'm real slow to that kind of stuff. I'm super analytical. So, I'm not reckless at all when it comes to that. And this took time to like really, really hash it out and go through it and make sure that the timing is right. And it just makes sense. So, anybody out there that's thinking about it, just take a hard look. You can be, I used to always think like there's things that you like to do, but you might not be good at it. There's things that you're good at that you might not like to do. And then there's things that, as things that like you don't like to do, you're not good at it. And so therefore you'll get eliminated with that, but you'll chase it for the money. You know what I mean? And I guess that's the last group probably, is just the things that you just try to get into just because it makes a lot of money. And that usually doesn't work out. Like any one of those things kind of, I don't think gives you happiness or doesn't give you a good balance, just being good, just liking it, or just making money. Like any of those things, independent of the other things, is unbalanced, and I don't know how sustainable it is. So I feel like going into trucking, that might be a good balance of something that I'm good at, something that I would like doing, and something that I can make some decent money at doing. So that's my story. Figured I'd share, like I said, for anybody out there on the fence. And also, if you're just watching the channel, like just people that have been commenting that, you know, they're getting started too. So maybe it'll give them some inspiration, or just, you know, like I said, I'm pretty scared. There's times I'm exhilarated, like, yeah, I'm about to do this. And there's times where I'm like, oh man, but this don't work. So only time will tell. I'll be out there soon. By the end of this month, I'm gonna get this truck and I'm gonna get out on these roads and see what these loads are about. And either it'll work or it won't. But it is if at the end of the day, I at least say I tried. So that's my message for today. Anybody has any more questions about anything, it's pretty straightforward. It's more about me, so I don't know what questions you have. But if you do, feel free to leave a comment. I'm pretty good about, I don't have a huge following, so I can pretty much get back to anybody with comments, at least at this point. So as always, thank you for watching my video, and I'll catch you in the next one.